Good evening and welcome back to Who Wants to Be a MELEEIONAIRE with our third guest, Tafokints. What is up, Tafo? It's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Scar. I'm excited to win some money.
Yes.
Or charity.
Up to $300 going to charity, direct relief. Is that right?
I believe so.
Direct relief. I'm excited too. Do you know the rules? We're going to go over the rules for you anyway.
Okay, let's go.
So in MELEEIONAIRE, you have to answer 15 multiple choice questions in a row correctly to win. You've got 3 lifelines to help you get through. The 50-50, where the computer randomly takes away 2 wrong answers. Ask the audience, where we will ask Twitter for help. And a phone a friend, where you can phone a friend. Do you understand the rules?
Yep, that sounds good.
All right, Tafo. You ready to get into the first question?
Yes.
All right. Well then, let's get ready to play Who Wants to Be a MELEEIONAIRE? Okay, Tafo, which of these is not a legal stage in Melee? Is it A, Yoshi Story, B, Pokemon Stadium, C, Final Destination, or D, Smashville?
I'm gonna go with D, Smashville.
Is it D, final answer?
Final answer.
He got it for $1 to charity.
Yes.
Yes. Here we go. The $2 question. Amsa is a Japanese player known for playing this character. Is it A, Fox, B, Mario, C, Yoshi, or D, Zelda?
This kid is dirty. I remember that from watching a video of him playing Kage. We're gonna go with C, Yoshi.
Final?
Final answer.
C, Yoshi. Of course Amsa plays Yoshi. That's right.
Yes.
We're breezing through these questions.
Yes.
Moving on to question number 3. This player triumphed over Wobbles in Grand Finals of EVO 2013. Is it A, Mango, B, Armada, C, Hungrybox, or D, Chillin' Dude 829?
Gonna go with my boy, A, Mango. Final
Log
answer.
it in. A, Mango, final answer. Yes, absolutely. And you know what? I think these questions... this is the easy deck. This is the easy deck. Blur and Chillin', or Blur and Hugo are gonna look at this, and we're gonna have some things to say.
Don't they always have a thing to say, though?
That is true. Okay, this determines whether a character is on the stage or not. Is it A, Environment Collision Box, B, Terrain Actionable Shape, C, Grounded State Pointer, or D, Collision Aware Status?
This determines whether a character is on... Okay, so just thinking through it, I think it's ECB. I'm gonna have to get rid of B because that's like the TA, because that's TAS, GSP. This is one of the things I'm not like really good at.
Looks like a step up in difficulty.
Yes, I'm gonna have to use a lifeline here. Can I get a 50-50?
All right, are you sure?
Yes, I will use my 50-50.
All right, we're gonna use our 50-50 computer, randomly take away 2 of the wrong answers. Is it Environment Collision Box or Grounded State Pointer?
Okay, I'm gonna go with A, Environment Collision Box.
All right, final answer?
Final answer.
Let's check it. And you got it. Not the Grounded State Pointer.
Yeah,
That was a tough one.
that is.
The next question for $10 in your first checkpoint. One of these Pokemon is not part of the stage Pokefloats. Which Pokemon is it? Is it A, Squirtle, B, Porygon, C, Chansey, or D, Electrode?
Alright, I need to get through, so I'm gonna think this out loud. Squirtle's the first Pokemon in the beginning. The Porygons come through the side. I believe there's like a bunch of them. Chansey randomly pops up left and right, like through the ground, and like randomly pops in and out. I don't remember seeing Electrode. I feel like Electrode's a Pokeball, so I'm gonna go with the Electrode.
Final?
Final answer.
Is it D, Electrode? Yes, it is. And you've reached the first checkpoint. You've tied Blur. You can do no worse than our first 2 contestants. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes, I am.
for $15. Which of these special melee modes is not in Melee? Is it A, Super Sudden Death, B, Single Button Mode, C, Metal Melee, or D, Lightning Melee?
So I know for a fact that Lightning Melee for sure is in it. Gosh, I played like big melee. I played like tiny melee. This is something that Alan, would play in NorCal.
I remember that.
Which of these single? I feel like there's a semantic question here. I feel like there. Like, I feel like it could be any of A, B, and C. I mean, there's... I don't remember, like, it's just like, I don't play this. This is like the bane of not being a more casual player here.
You're too competitive.
Yeah, I'm too competitive. I think this is actually a good one to take to Twitter, so I'm going to go ahead and ask the people.
I like your use of lifelines. Are you sure we're going to go ask the audience?
Yes. I think this would be a good one to ask.
All right, he's made his decision. We're going to take to Twitter. We're going to ask the audience about this question. And while we do that, we're going to take a quick break. So we'll be back with the results of the Ask the Audience. So stay tuned. All right, we're back. Tafokints, which of these special melee modes is not in Melee? The people said in first place, Metal Melee with 34.3% of the vote. Super Sudden Death and Single Button Mode split at 24% of the vote, and Lightning Melee in last at 17% of the vote.
Okay, so I am like reasonably confident that I'm absolutely confident Lightning Melee isn't a category, or is a category, sorry. Super Sudden Death, I'm inclined to believe. My gut was initially Single Button Mode, but I'm gonna trust the people on this, so I'm gonna go with C, Metal Melee, final answer.
Locked it in, Metal Melee. And you got it for $2,000.
All right, I trust the people.
Thank you to the audience. Well done. Whew. That was a close one. Next question for $20 for charity. Which of these players did not place 9th at Pound 2016? Was it A, Professor Pro, B, Nintendude, C, Laudandus, or D, Infinite Numbers?
Okay. Again, I think this was Infinite Numbers' breakout tournament. He beat Alex19, Mac D, and someone else, so I'm inclined to say that he was there. I think Nintendo and Professor Pro were there.
So you're starting with who was at the tournament in the first place?
Yeah. Nintendo is MDVA. He might be there, but I think he was in NorCal. I do remember that was the year he traveled a lot and did pretty well. And then Professor Pro is a little bit strange. I mean, I'm just trying to run through that event. You had Mango, Hacks, Hungry Box at the top of that event. I don't remember who just finished outside ninth. I remember this was the year of Laudandus too. I mean, initially I was just maybe Laudandus finished better than ninth. I think that was a breakout tournament for him. I think Nintendude, I don't remember him getting ninth, so I'm going to eliminate both Ice Climbers players. It's really coming down to Professor Pro or Laudandus. My hunch is that Laudandus actually performed pretty well, and I think he top 8'd this tournament. So I'm gonna, but I don't know. I don't know what a breakout tournament for Laudandus is. Is it getting into the top 8, or is ninth place considered good? I remember it just being a breakout tournament for him. He did beat Nintendo in that tournament, though, in I think losers. So if Nintendo got ninth, then Laudandus couldn't have gone ninth unless they played in winners, which would really screw up the logic here. Okay. I think this is a really unusual question, so I think Professor Pro probably. Okay. This is making a large assumption that Nintendo and Laudandus played in losers, and Laudandus won on FD and Chic Ice Climbers in that tournament. If they played in winners, I am absolutely screwed here, and I get this question wrong. But I'm gonna.
You sure you don't want to use your last lifeline, phone a friend?
No, I'm gonna go with Ladandis.
You're gonna. Is that you sure that's your final answer?
My phone a friend is gonna be pretty useless here.
I don't mean to dissuade you. Your logic sounded great to me. I'm just amazed at how much you remember.
I don't remember Professor Pro being there though. Like, he could have, and it could have been a non-memorable event. But what's like non-memorable for like Professor Pro? This is where it's like really hard. I'm about like 50% confident. I mean, I feel like there is merit to like calling. I mean,
They say go with your gut.
I think I have to go with Ladandis here. That is my final answer.
All right, it's locked in. Let's see if he got it. Oh no. Yes, that's Ladandis. I don't stole that Regis trick. Did I freak you out when I said oh no? Regis used to do that, dude. Wow, I can't believe that you got that question. Well done, Tafokints.
All right.
Moving on to the next one. You still have your phone a friend lifeline. I'm really impressed. All right, next question. The top 100 ranking has been around since 2013. Which of these players has been ranked every year? Is it A, Armada, B, Tai, C, Dark Atma, or D, Gatsu?
I'm gonna go with B, Tai. Final answer.
That's a quick one. Let's see if he's got it right. Yes, that's right. For, I believe, $25 for a direct relief. Next question, we're starting to double. $50 question. Mind you, this is the level that Blur got to before getting the next question wrong.
Okay.
Just so you know where you are. All right, Tafo, next question. Taj is one half of the doubles team Shadow Claw. Which Arizona player was his teammate? Was it A, Wobbles, B, Axe, C, Forward, or D, Tai?
I mean, the hard part here is that we're at the point in the game where it should be harder. So I'm like wondering if like I am tricking myself here because
you think you know the answer, but you think
it'd
be too obvious.
I mean, Taj has teamed with a bunch of people at different points. I know I lost to him in Wobbles in a tournament, but I think that legendary team is Taj and Ford that beat Ken and Isaiah. So I'm gonna go with is it C, Ford?
C,
yeah, we'll go with C, Ford.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right. Is it Forward?
Click flop.
And he got it. Well done, Tafokin. You are now one question away from the $80 milestone. How are you feeling?
It's nerve-wracking. The difficulty of these questions is actually really intense.
You're in the hot seat.
I'm in the hot seat, so I gotta win that money for charity, though.
You're doing well with that pressure. Are you ready for the next question?
Yes.
All right. Let's give it to him. For $80. Which of these players has not been nationally ranked on both at Melee and Brawl? Was it A, Larry Lur, B, Esam, C, Mewtwo King, or D, Siren?
I'm gonna actually, let's see. This is like a really important benchmark, so I need to make sure it's not wrong. I mean, Mewtwo King was like top 1 in both games. Larry was really good in both games. You know, definitely better than me in Melee, and most certainly ranked in Brawl. Esam, you know, top player in Brawl. And he made it to Summit, which makes me think that he had to have like gone like top 100 at some point to even qualify for Summit. So I think the only person that's left out here is Siren. So I'm gonna go with D, Siren.
Final answer, D, Siren. Does he get the $80? And yes, it is Siren. Whew, I was thinking maybe that was a trick question. Here you are, $80 milestone, which means if you get a question wrong, you cannot do any worse now than $80 for charity. And that puts you in first place solidly of the contestants.
What?
So
I'm
far.
just happy that I beat Blur.
I'm happy too. The next question for $100. Are you ready? Which of these items is the most rare peach pole? Is it A, Bob-omb, B, Mr. Saturn, C, Beam Sword, or D, Stitch Face?
Interesting. Because initially I thought in my head, just for competitive purposes, like I had like an estimate, like when I play against Peach, like that A and D were more or less like the same, and like I thought they were like the rare ones. But seeing that they're both here makes me a little bit nervous. Like if one of them is slightly more rare, then that kind of throws this. I mean,
you think they're your knowledge was telling you they're exactly the same.
Yeah, and that they were both like the extreme rarest. I guess like maybe where my line of thinking is like if somebody pulls like a Mr. Saturn, then like it's not really going to change the match. It's just like this little trolley thing that runs back and forth, and so maybe that's why I didn't really think about it. And there's also Beam Sword, which, for what's worth, like I don't like how many times do I see like Armada like do a Beam Sword thing versus like a Stitch Face, right? It seems like he pulls way more Stitch Faces than Beam Swords, but that could just be like Armada like knowing some forbidden technology.
It could be.
I actually don't know the answer to this, so you know, I'm going.
You want to talk about your options?
I think I have to phone a friend here. I don't know the answer to this.
All right. Do you know who you're going to call?
In theory, the Crimson Blur.
Do you know how to call him? I believe that you're the first to use the phone a friend so far. You can just take your cell phone out and give him a call.
Alrighty. I'm going to give the Crimson Blur a call.
And while we get Blur on the line, we're going to take a quick break, but stick around for more MELEEIONAIRE. Okay, welcome back. We've got Hugs on the line for the phone a friend. Go ahead, Tafo.
Okay. Hello? Hugs, this is the question. Which of these items is the most rare peach pull? It A, Bob-omb, B, Mr. Saturn, C, Beam Sword, or D, Stitch Face?
Bob-omb, Mr. Saturn, Beam Sword, or Stitch Face?
Yes.
I am almost positive it's Bob-omb.
You're positive? Okay.
No, I'm not positive, but I think it's Bob-omb. Okay, so the rarest. Okay, the way it's between Stitch Face and
Bob-omb, right?
Bob-omb, yeah. I'm gonna. Dude, all right. Like Nintendo's full of noobs, right? So they just need.
Not too much help, unfortunately, from that phone a friend. So Hugo thinks it's between Bob-omb and Stitch Face. You were thinking something similar. What do you think?
I mean, I think there's like one thing here, right? One could be like one out of like a. I mean, let's see. The way programming works, it's probably out of like 256 or something. I really think. I mean, so like my instinct is I've read many guides where they say that like both of these are like 1 out of 127. It's just really hard to fathom. Maybe they do out of 65,536, where like one could be like 1 out of like approximately 127, and one could be out of like 1 out of like 129. Like where like there's a discrepancy here. I see way more.
That's all over my head, Tafokints.
I see more Stitch Faces than Bob-ombs in the game, right? Like when I think of Stitch Faces, I think of Armada. I think of Bob-ombs occasionally coming out. It's just like the hard part here is that Mr. Saturns and Beam Swords are like not that impactful to like the game as much of a Stitch Face. So maybe like I remember the Stitch Face coming out more because it's a more impactful thing in the game. This is so hard. But if I'm going to go with my initial hypothesis and go with what Hugo said, and maybe this is Hugo's revenge on me for like beating him so many times, like in tournament, that he's just giving me wrong information. Maybe he's like no, but he would want me to win. This is for charity. He shaved his legs for charity, right? So
give the guy some credit.
I have to believe that he is looking out for my best interest here, and that there's nothing trolly about what Hugo said to me, and that he believes it. Hugo's
The
an
question
old
is
school
just whether he knew or whether he didn't.
player. Yes. Hugo's an old school player, has played a lot of Peaches in his day. It's a really annoying matchup for Samus, so I'm inclined to think that he probably did some research back in the day at some point in his 50-year career. You know what? I'll trust him. I'm gonna go with a Bob-omb final answer.
It's the final answer. Let's see. Is it Bob-omb? Oh, heartbreaker! It is not Bob-omb. What is the correct answer?
Mr. Saturn?
The C, Beam Sword.
Oh.
Oh, what a tough break. But the good news is that you did not lose any of the money that you earned. How do you feel about that, Tafokints?
I'm happy that I beat the Blur and I got to raise some money for charity.
And now you know. Now you
I
know.
know.
This is the most rare peach pull.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. I had a really
Thank
good time.
you. Thank you so much. And very impressed with what was that one question that you crushed it.
The Pound 2016 one.
Whew. I was blown away. That went way over my head how you deduced that, but I hope that it's true that Ladanda's beat Nintendo in losers on FD
Yeah.
and got higher than 9th. All right, so thank you, Tafokints, for being here, and we will have another contestant coming up soon on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.